What's up, guys? Dale Valor here from Modern Valor Dating. Listen, one of the things that come up to me most often is the type of frame that you should take when interacting with a woman, whether it's on the street, whether it's at the mall, at the bar, at the club, at work, at the airport, because you can run into anybody anywhere. What kind of frame should you embody when interacting? Some guys are like, oh, you should be super duper stoic and, never show emotion and be, almost robotic in the way that you carry yourself. And then some other guys are just like, oh, just be yourself. Then there's other guys that are like, you should be the life of the party and almost to the point of being cartoonish or clownish, So there's all these different perspectives. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you mine, the one that I like to embody the most, because I think it's really a part of my personality. And I think that that's the way that you should do it. However your personality works, you shouldn't force yourself to have a different personality to talk to a girl. But what you do want to do is take your personality and enhance it. Right? Make it as best as you can and most attractive and communicate it the best way possible. And so what I'm talking about is being cocky funny. All right, so cocky funny, the whole concept of that comes from a guy named David D'Angelo, who was one of the early game gurus, okay, in the early 2000s. And I really liked how he summarized this and how he kind of put it together to where it's understandable and defined it, And so basically what cocky funny is what it says in the title, where you are acting somewhat cocky, not over the top, not arrogant or, obnoxious, but the things that you're saying are clever, with some wit and some zing to it, Think of one of the examples I like for this is if you think about a sword fight in a movie, like say Zorro or something like that, and they're doing their thing, they're having this sword fight, they're fencing, and there's always this witty repartee going on, and so to me that's cocky funny. All right, where you and the girl are trying to best each other. Another example of that you might see in it's a common trope, man, in TV shows and movies and things like that, where you got a guy, you got a girl, they don't like each other, but they always have this witty banter going on. And then there's this sexual tension because of it, and they end up hooking up. And it's happens all the time, and every goddamn show it seems like. So anyway, that's cocky funny, all right? So I'm going to give you the top 4 thoughts on cocky funny, and we're going to get into that right now. Let's go.
Oh yeah, edginess.
Okay.
So this is actually a pretty interesting one.
Okay.
Do you prefer a guy who's super nice to you and is very nice, or a guy who's a little bit more edgy?
Playful, teasing, that's a good sense of humor is really important to me. If he's an asshole though, forget it. No matter how funny he is, if he treats you like an asshole, done. It has to be gentle teasing in a nice way, not in a rude.
I mean, you still want him to be nice, but not a total pushover. So
Right.
I guess balance is key.
Balance is key.
Balance is
a little
key
bit
literally
of
to
edge
everything
is
in
kind
life.
of fun, but just
Yin and yang.
Yeah.
All right.
definitely be a nice guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 1, your frame. See, I touched on that a little bit on the intro of the video, but here's the deal. The way that I like to do it is I'm unflappable. I can't be beaten, okay? And you know what? Sometimes girls are really, really witty. You get this verbal volley going on, think of a volleyball match, right? The ball or ping pong or whatever, tennis, whatever example you want. But it's going back and forth. I say something, she says something. I say something, she says something. I say, and so on and so forth until eventually somebody gets bested. All right, now here's the thing. She's going to test your frame, and that's what the whole point of this is. And a lot of the guys like to call it shit tests. And I'm going to go a little bit deeper on that a little bit more, a little later in the video. But just know that all a shit test really is a test of your frame. And she's going to test that. And there's reasons why, which we'll get into. But when she tests it, it's up for you to pass or fail that test that she's laying out there. And so the way that you do that is being non-reactive. What happens more often than not is, all right, I'm a white dude, right? And I'm talking to a girl, and maybe she says something like, I don't normally date white guys. Now, what some people will do, what some guys do is they try to defend themselves. Oh, well, blah, 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 I don't, they're all like mad and trying to defend like why you shouldn't think that way. Like, oh, are you racist? And, and trying to logic her into like it's never going to work. You're not going to change her mind. You're not going to lay out some compelling argument that she wants to sit there and hear a lecture about so as that she can be like, oh, you know what? I never thought of it that way. You know what? You're right. I will date you. It's not likely to happen that way. Another example that guys tend to do is they'll apologize for who they are. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that about you. Oh, man, well, God, man, I wish I wasn't ever born, because, if I hadn't been born, then I wouldn't have offended you so deeply. And you see, so that's not going to work either. You apologizing for being alive. I mean, come on, dude. So you don't want to do either one of those things. What you want to do is be non-reactive, that it's not a big deal. And it's not. Is it a big deal? Do you really care if she dates white dudes, black dudes, Hispanic dudes, Asian dudes? Who cares? It doesn't matter to me. And I'm going to tell her as much. I'm not going to like start clowning her and be mad and start dissing her, but I'm going to show that I don't really care. And one of my favorite lines to counteract that statement is this. Oh, that's cute. And then I just continue saying what I was saying. Ah, that's cute. Mm-hmm. And keep going into what I was saying. And that way, it just shows her that my frame is strong. What she had to say did not bother me at all. Okay, and I just acknowledged it, something kind of funny, and keep it moving. All right. Okay, we're gonna get into number 2. Let's go. Number 2, be Teflon. See, in the first point, I was talking about being non-reactive, right? So here's the deal. If you don't let things bother you, well, A, it doesn't bother you, and B, it shows her that your frame is strong, okay? So you want to be like Teflon, where nothing sticks. Earlier I was talking about like a volleyball game or ping pong or whatever. You say something, she says something. You say something, she says something. Now, here's the deal, all right? Some girls are very, very clever. Attractive women tend to be very, very, very socialized. All right. And so they can say stuff right off the top that's really witty. I mean, not always, but I've ran into this more than a few times. Okay. And so sometimes they're a worthy adversary, where you're like, damn, that was a good one, And a lot of the times what they say, I will keep that in my own bag of tricks to use on a later date with somebody else. If I think it works and I think it's good enough. What happens if you lose? Does that mean it's a wrap? Does that mean she bested me, this is the end of this interaction? No, that's loser mentality, all right? What you want to do is this. She shit tests you. She says something, okay? And again, we'll get into shit tests in a minute. You say something back. Now you're on top. She says something back. She's on top. You say something back. You're on top. Okay? She says something back and you don't have a response for it. If you don't have a response for it, this is what I like to do. Respect. You got me. All right? And what am I doing by saying that? Basically, I'm putting myself back on top because she's living up to my standard of respect. Okay? So, congratulations, you lived up to what I consider a high standard. I'm back on top again, okay? So that's the thing, man. You should never, ever be beaten, okay? So if you can't think of anything else, just go with respect. All right, we're going to get into number 3. Let's go. Number 3, the kid sister. All right, think of it like this. All right, a lot of times guys are like, I don't really know how to treat a girl that I'm interacting with, If you keep the cocky, funny frame, all right, basically what you're doing is you're treating her like you would treat a kid sister or a little brother or a little cousin or one of your friends even. Like, look, if you're hanging out with your buddies and you guys probably clown each other, you know, for kicks, just for fun. You don't really mean it. You're not like trying to hurt each other's feelings and go deep. He does something stupid and you're like, man, idiot. And that's it. And that's the end of it, right? It's the same thing when you're interacting with a girl, all right? Treat them like you would treat one of your friends, a kid sister, whatever. If you have a little sister who's, I don't know, we'll say you're 21 and she's 10, all right? And she's of the tag-along variety, you know, where she's just always following you around and that kind of thing. And, you know, she's liable to come up and say something stupid to you, you know, just like as little kids tend to do. Like, you know, we'll say your name's John. Hey, John. And you're like, what? You're ugly, huh? You know, but your reaction isn't going to be like, I'll kill you. You know, your reaction is like, man, whatever. Kick rocks, you know, get out of here. You bother me, you know? Like, you act like it's not a big deal because it's not a big deal. Even when she was like, hey, John, you're like, what? You know, like she's pestering you. But the thing is, if you interact with a girl like that, that, you know, you cold approached or whatever, and you carry that demeanor, it shows that sense of authority. It shows that you're not going to put her on a pedestal. Her value isn't higher than yours. You know, you're demonstrating that because guys don't say that stuff to her. If she's that attractive, guys bend over backwards and feed her compliments. She's been hearing compliments her whole life. But by you treating her like a normal person, like a friend almost, that you just you're playfully jabbing, she loves it because now she feels like a normal person and she's not being put on a pedestal. I cannot tell you how many times girls I've dated and talked to like that about me is that I'm not afraid to joke around with them and tease them playfully. Now, I'm not dissing them. I'm not like something that's super foul to them. I'm just playfully ribbing them, okay? All right, so we're going to hop into number 4. Let's go. Hey, guys, want to take this quick time out just to remind you, if you have not subscribed to this channel, you want to take advantage of that. You want to do that now. Why do I say that? Because we want to get these videos to you the best way possible. So that way you don't miss anything. If you're in an interaction and, hey, look, you missed a video and there was some information in there that you could have used to help secure the deal, you know what I mean? And you missed out, well, then you missed out, right? So the best way to make sure that you can get these videos in a timely fashion is subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, drop us a comment, man. Let us know what kind of content you want us to put out there for you, all right? Hit the thumbs up button, share it with somebody you know needs to hear it. Also, April 24th, we're going to be getting down once again on a live Zoom session that's open to everybody. We're going to have the link put in here, and all you got to do is just go register, man. That's it. This month, we're going to be talking about the importance of storytelling, why that's so important, and what an awesome skill set and life hack it is to be able to do that and communicate who you are via stories. All right, so we're going to hop back into the video. Let's get it. Number 4, shit tests. Okay, these are an all-time favorite. All right, so we talked quite a bit already about overcoming shit tests, but what I want to go into deep here on is, you know, really what are they and what are they for, okay? Look, there's plenty of guys that walk around with a fake sense of confidence, meaning they're not really confident, but they act like they are. And so what girls will do is test them. They're testing their frame. Are you as confident as you claim to be or as you seem to be? Are you the real article? Are you legit? You know, or are you a fraud like the 9 other guys that walked up to me before you? Guys in this community tend to a lot of times idolize James Bond, okay? Like, James Bond has that whole persona that he embodies that a lot of guys admire, and me too. But I mean, let's call it what it is. It's fiction. Writers wrote it and actors acted it. Okay. Girls give James Bond shit tests. Like if you ever watch a James Bond movie, they're not generally like, oh, hey, there's James Bond, let me jump in bed with him. No, they usually say something that's kind of slick, and somewhat of a, backhanded compliment or a diss, or they nag him a little bit, But then he always is non-reactive. Do you ever see James Bond get flustered interacting with a girl where he's like, no, I'm James Bond. Don't you know who I am? You don't see that. No, he's just completely cool, calm, collected, non-reactive. They're testing him. He stands up to that test, and boom, there it is. It's a wrap, okay? So that's the thing. That's the personification that you want to carry. And if you do that, as we've talked about through this video, and you're just non-reactive and stuff just isn't a big deal to you, and it shouldn't be a big deal, man. It's not just like some mental gymnastics, it really shouldn't be a big deal to you. You don't know this girl. She doesn't know you. If she says something to you sideways, not everything is a shit test. Sometimes girls are just mean. Sometimes people are just shitty. If she's just being a jerk to you, cut it off. Don't think like, I've got to pass this shit test. If she's just outright being a jerk, okay? That's one thing. But it's a whole other thing if you have some flirty repartee going on, okay? That's a totally different thing. And you should be able to calibrate to know the difference. Speaking of calibration, we did a video a little while back on calibration. What is calibration? Calibration is being able to take a temperature of the room and know exactly what to do. Okay, so what I want you to do is go watch that video. We go super deep on it, man, because it opens up so many opportunities for you if you know how to correctly calibrate. All right, I will see you there.